Alright, so I'm going to be doing another match against my same opponent from the Trident series. I am playing as the Canadians, and I'm bringing a stripped-down independent battle group. Specifically, I'm bringing one rifle company and the associated tank platoon, and a tank platoon. I'm also bringing um, two gun sections of howitzers from a howitzer battery. And I'm bringing a couple extra mortars, which I've thrown into the forward observer section for, you know, response time purposes. I can't bring a drone as the Canadians, unfortunately. I love drones. I think they're by far the best way to spend your points in Shock Force 2. Basically, no matter what, I would take a drone if it was 4 times as expensive as it is, if not more, but I can't in this situation. So let's look at the map real quick. And we'll just quickly go over the terrain and what our strategy might be. So we're in, let's see, that's our deployment zone over here, down here in the southeast, and here is the map. So there's a bit of an elevation in the center, but it's generally a very flat map. I have a ring of buildings around my objective, or my deployment zone, but my objective is kind of hanging out there, whereas he has a relatively open deployment zone, but his objective is a little bit closer. So I think my plan is going to be to get the infantry up in some of these buildings, the tanks in defensive positions, and then kind of let him probe at me a little bit, although we'll see how that shakes out during deployment. So let's just take a look at this from a ground level perspective. So we have a, hidden deployment zone. Come up here, there's a bit of a crest, like right here, and that lets us, look out into this line of buildings here. This is pretty good sight lines over most of the map. How far away is that? Let's see. So there's this bit of a hill, kind of right in the middle. You can see the downslope here on the road. And then on this side, a bit of a downslope here on the road. But it's really subtle. So there's a bit of a low ground over here. So it looks like coming up here, maybe putting ATGMs this way, looking out, could be useful. And keeping the tanks, I think a key here might be, because I'm definitely expecting him to bring tanks, like look at this map. A key here might be to keep the tanks kind of in reserve. Another approach to this map would have been to go really tank heavy. But we will see if our approach here works out or not. LAVs are pretty decent. They're pretty, they're no Bradleys by any means. And I don't think they have their own ATGMs. If they do, I'll be pleasantly surprised. But they do have a nice gun, and we have plenty of buildings around here where we can post some ATGMs up and get great line of sight over the whole map. So that's what we got, and we will see how it goes. I was looking at this map, and I was trying to figure out why it is that when I come up here, I can't draw a line of sight over to there. And the answer is because I had trees turned off. And there's a large, like, orchard thing right in the middle of the map behind my main objective, which I actually think is great. So, the plan, and one thing I did notice, just real quick, his side of the map is a lot flatter than mine. I come out of this, I got this crest here, I come out of this, I got this crest here. He, on the other hand, comes out of his flat deployment zone, and it's just fucking flat. Like, he's got a little bit of micro terrain, like, kinda, not really. A little bit of rolling. It's light. He does have, way over on the wings, you can see it best from the side, there's a couple little hills over here, and then there's another one here. So those are maybe firing positions, but it's not much. The other thing I noticed, light mortars don't show up in the artillery panel, even if I do set them up and deploy them. So that's a good lead into the strategy. The FO and the mortars are going to come over to here, and he's going to post up on the roof of this building. Now, this is maybe not the best spot. It's like relatively, let's, where is he? There he is. I mean, he has good line of sight to all the buildings, some reverse slope over there, but like generally speaking, he can see a lot. The problem with the obvious spot, which is up here, is that it has a similar reverse slope issue, and it's the obvious spot. So I don't really want to put him there. I think this is good. It lets me set the light mortars up here, which only have like an 800 meter range, which is like not good. Nearly useless on this map. I think it's 800 meters. But it'll at least give me something with them, like set up smoke or something. That's the plan for them. So I have 3 mounted rifle platoons. The first platoon, or the 10 platoon, is coming around here, and they're going to kind of post up on this hill here behind the woods. The intent will be to move into the objective. I'm not expecting him to like blitz the objective or anything. It'd be pretty wild if he did. This group is going to swing around this way and then also into here. And the idea here is that we'll be able to get them into these buildings, look out this way. And then this last platoon, where's the last platoon? This one. They're just going to kind of come up over here and chill on the road in reserve for wherever they are needed. There's a bit of a hill here. There's buildings in front of us. I don't think he can really take shots on them from anywhere, so they're going to be in that protected position. Now, the tanks, I have one here who's just going to come straight up this hill, and he can kind of watch this way. I think, let's see, he can, it says reverse slope. He can kind of see this way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't work. But he's really just covering for this tank coming up here. And this tank can definitely see some of this. Maybe not, but he can see more. Anyway. On this side, we have another tank going this way, so this guy is going to come around here and look this way. And this road is raised like a meter or so. I was looking at it in the editor. So you can't really necessarily shoot all across the map, but he starts coming over. And then we have one more tank. So this guy. Let's see. He is a tank. Where's he going? Oh, he's just going over here, I guess. guess. And I think the idea was that he would be in reserve over here. So I don't really think the tanks are gonna be like super effective at the gate. Maybe this guy will be able to see like guys rolling across the hills over there. I think they will. But you know, they're kind of just to make sure he doesn't do anything too aggressive. I don't want to do anything too aggressive at first. I think I want to kind of let him establish and then do something like hyper aggressive. Like maybe push up this way and like come over the berm or something. But we'll see. We can always pull the tanks back once the infantry's in position. The infantry, speaking of which, has some laws, and they have some laws, and they have some laws, and like that's it, right? So like their anti-tank ability is actually kind of shitty. There is a Carl Gustav in all the LAVs, so I think maybe we should actually just acquire all those. So yeah, we're gonna do that actually. And we'll have the infantry squad at least do that. Acquire straw. Acquire. I think heat is probably what we need. I don't expect these guys to be doing much foot maneuvering, so the weight is okay. These gun sections are actually pretty big, so we'll have them acquire these two. You know, I think from my own personal experience, carrying 4 coilless rifle rounds is not fun, but it's not unusual for a team to do. I was in a light unit, so having this amount of AT, like heavy AT guns, I think a SRA is a Carl Gustav. It certainly looks like one. Having that amount of them, like 1 per squad, is certainly more than we were used to. We would have like 1 per, you know, platoon or whatever. But you know, carrying 4 rounds was certainly not unheard of. So this actually gives them a lot of particularly short range AT. I'll look up the ranges for this a little later. But in addition to the 3 laws, that is a lot. Okay, so all the infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. All the infantry has their Carl Gs. Does this guy have a Carl? No. And look at that. This is the battalion commander, and he's just gonna come chill over here. Okay, company commander maybe. That's the plan. Kind of take up positions, and we'll go from there. See what happens.